selling using your key, the invisible that works anywhere in the world.
This audio nanobook contains everything from the original written edition. Same ideas, same examples, same honesty. But it also contains something extra, a secret reward built specifically for listeners. You will find it later. Stay with me. But right now, I want you to notice something. You chose audio. Maybe because you like to listen while you walk, or drive, or do something with your hands. Maybe reading feels like effort and this feels easier. Maybe you just like voices more than pages. That is a backdoor. You found your own way in. Same destination, your route. And that right there is exactly what this whole book is teaching. So you have already done the first lesson before I have said a word. Now, my name is Ilan Slava. I am not going to open this with credentials. No fancy bio, no screenshots of revenue, just this. I am someone who spent years doing all the right things online and kept stopping. Not because I was lazy, not because I was broken, because of something nobody was naming clearly. I want to share what I found, and I want to share it the way I talk, which is straight, with examples, and with the kind of honesty that might feel a little uncomfortable at first. The good kind of uncomfortable. The kind where you think, yeah, that is actually it. This is a nanobook, not a 300-page manual, not a masterclass. Because those peoples with huge manuals already placed what works. So why some peoples don't get results? Here's just what I think it causes this and the personal solutions to this same fail. This audio nanobook are seeing the light of the world to be useful. Short enough to absorb in one sitting or one commute, one walk, one session with your hands busy doing something else. Dense enough to keep coming back to even after years of and post successful results. Timeless enough to be a classic, useful enough to be considered relevant right here and right today. And the fact that you are listening to it instead reading it, that is the perfect live demonstration of everything I am about to show you. We will come back to that. Now, let me tell you about the dream. Chapter 1, the dream analogy. Pharaoh had all the information. Pharaoh had the dream. 7 fat cows eaten by 7 thin ones. 7 full ears of grain swallowed by 7 withered ones. He had all the data. He was looking at the answer every night. And he woke up paralyzed every morning because information without translation is noise. It was only when Joseph came and named what was happening, 7 years of abundance, 7 years of famine, here is what to do, that everything became obvious, practical, actionable, not because new information arrived, because the existing information finally made sense. That is what this nanobook is. You already have the dream. You have been selling online or trying to, or have trying to, while secretly wondering why it does not feel right. You have watched the courses. You have bought the systems. You have seen the gurus with the yachts and the I made $10,000 in my sleep videos. You have all the cows. You just have not met Joseph yet. So, let me be Joseph for the next few pages. Chapter 2. It is not self-sabotage. It is a misalignment. Here is what everyone says when they cannot make themselves move forward. I am self-sabotaging. And look, I get it. The word exists for a reason. But in my experience, talking to people, being one of those people, self-sabotage is usually the wrong diagnosis. It is like going to the doctor with stomach pain and leaving with a prescription for anxiety. The anxiety is real, but there is something else going on. What is really happening is simpler and also harder to admit. You are not moving toward the goal because deep down you do not actually want that specific goal. You want a version of it, but not the one you have been shown. Think about it this way. Imagine you are learning to cook, and every single tutorial shows a world famous chef in a Michelin star kitchen with 6 assistants and imported truffles. You watch it. You get inspired. You go to your kitchen, you open your fridge. You have eggs, some leftover rice, and half an onion, and you freeze. Not because you cannot cook, because you cannot cook like that chef in that kitchen with those ingredients. And somewhere in your head, you decided that is the only version that counts. That freezing, that is not sabotage. That is your instincts correctly telling you this map does not match your territory. The misalignment is the real problem, and nobody names it. About this material, you will notice that this nanobook does not attack anyone, does not say the courses are wrong, does not say the gurus are frauds. Meet some gurus. They rock, dude. I not even say that the big systems do not work. Why? Because they do work. The question is just that for me didn't work because I was in what situation starting from less than the minimal. I burned the boats and paid the price because a system built for someone with a team, a budget, 3 years of money lost with no problem, or other sources of money. With this supports the house too that I learned it tends to works. It genuinely works for a type of person in a different situation. But what about someone in their bedroom at midnight with one idea and zero team or money to invest without feel that was losing everything? Does the same system work for them? Or does it just make them feel behind before they even start? The result: hate who get results, even secretly, which is exposed later. I just got the grace to find more answers, and criticism of the system didn't last long. I tried a lot while was pretending that I was thinking positively. Hey, this material does not replace anything you already learned, because do something unexpected. Instead, more knowledge, you just will get something small but practical and specific enough to actually use today. Not in 6 months when you have the team, not when the funnel is ready. Today, because maybe you will discover that some things that was considered fundamental to what you do works. It actually not applied to what you wanted to do. It's like basically you just thought that need things to start, but actually for your situation you will end up discovering that actually no, not for you. Not because those things doesn't work, but don't it's necessary for you. Try to advertise like famous brands with millions to burn without you have the things that for your case it's necessary. I tried. Good luck with that. I didn't had luck, but at least I got something out of the party. Excuse me, but did you already had the grace to be able to think about this following question in your mind? The question is, what I want from this, even if others think that I am getting less than what I could get, but for me would be a bigger win? I could even start to get embarrassed by good feelings. And this question, this intimate question, it's what just by you thinking about it at least once already can be the begin of the start of something change today, not in your life, but in your daily basis. Because your daily basis counts. Did you know that? Or what? Yes. Did you know that your daily basis matters? So, chapter 3, the question nobody asked you. What result would you actually like? Not what is possible, not the ceiling, not what the person in the course made. What would feel genuinely good to you in your life, with your mornings, with your personality? I know a guy who was trying to sell books about trading card games. He had a job, he made a decent salary, he came to me frustrated, stuck, not launching. I asked him one question, not about funnels, not about his offer. I asked him, if your book made the exact same amount as your job, not more, just the same, would that feel worth it? He went quiet. Then he said, I would already be happy. He was not stuck because of strategy. He was stuck because every system he was learning was designed for someone trying to replace a corporate salary, build a team, scale to seven figures. Nobody had ever given him permission to just want what he actually wanted. The moment he had permission, real honest permission, he started moving. The Here is the thing about liking your results. When you genuinely like what you are building, nothing that other people have can shake you. Someone walks in with a Ferrari. You are thinking about your Honda Civic and smiling, not because you are in denial, because you actually like your car. And from that place, that stable, grounded, I actually like this place, you can improve, you can expand, you can grow, not from fear, from desire. That is the difference. And it changes everything. Chapter 4. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's. There is a pattern I have watched happen to smart people, and I have watched it happen to me, and it is invisible. Someone gets deep into self improvement, into digital marketing, into online selling. They learn from the big names, the established people with the communities and the courses and the decades of results. And at some point, usually when they start to find their own path, they start talking about those big names like they are the enemy. Oh, those gurus, they just XYP criticism because who are talking in a better and more honest. The problem with me doing that was that I was in a double reality crash because I was like a father and son competing to who got better and mistreating the father to feel confident. Instead, reached the level of even emotional thinking in my mind. I got better because, yeah, he was on my life. I saw in me learning from someone. Then to refer to certain people's, I said, I am not like those gurus. Okay, Bucko, but for sure you learn from them. And here was my justification. It's the truth. Yeah. The critique might even be fair, but the energy underneath it, that is not intellectual and sensational honesty. That was someone in the process of becoming what I was criticizing and feeling guilty about it before I even get there. Just a side note, I saw people's becoming gurus, the type that they criticize, and in their daily basis I saw those past thoughts haunting them to stop and be again the underdog, who don't deserve where are, because always said that gurus was fake, and here's the problem. The person knows that what they do, it's legit, but success and reaching goals was considered guru and guru scam then. As in the book Psycho-Cybernetics, the behavior started to get back to no results. Why? I got the dopamine to feel better than the guru, but lost dopamine when I was being a guru and feeling like a fraud. Here's what I learned the hard way. You can take the knowledge and leave the lifestyle. I have tons of mentors, particularly I starting by learn from people teaching about social dynamics, about reading a room, about how to handle my situation when someone tries to destabilize me in front of others. Even I am grateful for every single thing they taught, but I do not need their exact life. It's not necessary to, I do not need the game they were playing. That was their territory. If I am there, it's as guest, not as a stayer. But I use their precious map to navigate mine. The remix, these combinations of knowledge, it's instead betrayal, can mean many things, including mastery. Same with business. The person teaching millions probably does not know your bedroom, your schedule, your wake up, your laying down, your $1,200 a month goal that would actually set you free, and you are even aroused to get it's mega okay to give them credit for what they taught you. Even buy something to some of them, but it's okay to you go build your version of it. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Then go be you, okay? And by the way, detail, chapter 5, find the back door. The system you are following was probably built by someone with a team, with a budget, with a completely different life than yours. And here's the thing. They are not hiding that it is just that they built the front door for themselves. You need to find the back door. What is a back door? It is the alternative route to the same destination. The crack in the wall that nobody else is using because everyone is staring at the main entrance. Real example. I was learning to record ideas for AI. The way you are supposed to do it is with precise written prompts, concise, structured, perfectly worded, and that works. But I found something better for me. I use my voice. I talk. I let the ideas flow naturally, and the AI does the rest. Same result. My way, it even works better because I think better when I am speaking than when I am typing. And by the way, this entire nanobook started as voice recordings. Hours of me talking, thinking out loud, following the drift of ideas. That became the written edition. And now you are hearing the audio version of a book that was born as audio. The back door was the front door all along. There is a teaching method for piano where the rule is simple. Play a song you already love, not a beginner exercise. A real song, your song. The rule works because it makes you want to practice. What if you want to follow the rule but you do not know the name of the song you want to play? You only know the melody in your head, so you think of a different song you know the name of and you do it anyway. You are still following the principle, you just found your own way in. The step by step is a reference, not a cage. Secret reward, audio edition exclusive, you stayed. So here is what only listeners get to hear. Here is something that almost nobody talks about in the online selling world. A huge number of people who want to create something, a course, a book, a guide, a product, they learn exactly what to do. They get the step by step, they understand the process, and then they do not do it. Everyone says they are procrastinating, they are scared, they are self sabotaging. But here is what I actually think is happening. They were never asked, how do you want to do this? Let me give you the most obvious example in the world. Someone wants to write a book. They know what they want to say. They have the ideas. The knowledge is there. But every time they sit down to write, they freeze. The blank page, the cursor blinking. Nothing comes. So they conclude, I am not a writer. I cannot do this. And they stop. But here is the question nobody asked them. Do you like to talk? Because if you like to talk, if you think better out loud, if your ideas come alive when you are speaking, if you have ever said something to a friend and they looked at you and said, man, you should write that down, then you do not have a writing problem. You have a format problem. You have been trying to enter through the wrong door. Pick up your phone, open a voice recorder, talk, tell me about your product the way you would tell a friend over coffee. Explain the problem it solves. Tell me the story of how you figured it out. Do that for 20 minutes. You just wrote your book. Get it transcribed. There are tools everywhere for this, most of them free or close to it. Run it through an AI to clean it up. And now you have a first draft of something real, something that sounds like you, because it is you, the actual you, not the version of you trying to perform writer. This is not a workaround. This is not cheating. This is finding your back door. The system said, write. Your instinct said, I cannot write. But you never asked, what if I did not have to write in the way I was shown? What if my version of writing is talking? I know someone who builds courses by walking, literally walking around their neighborhood, talking into their earbuds, recording everything. They have built entire products that way. Products that sell, products that help people, built on walks. Why make it hard? It is not necessary. It is just the first impulse we have when we do not know otherwise. We see the front door. We assume that is the only way in. And when the front door feels locked, we conclude, this is not for me. But the back door is open. It was always open. So, the secret reward for staying is this: permission. Permission to create your product in the format that feels natural to you, not the format you were shown, not the format the guru uses, yours. The best product you will ever make is the one you could actually finish. Chapter 6. I am emotional, but I am conscious. There is a moment, you know this moment, where everything starts to get loud inside. Someone shows you their results that make yours look small. A comment lands wrong. You open your draft, and suddenly nothing feels good enough. The feeling starts to drop. Most people in that moment do one of two things. They numb it, scroll, disappear, distract, or they collapse into it, spiral, overthink, stop. There is a third option, and it is Just 5 words. I am emotional, but I am conscious. That sentence does two things at once. It acknowledges what is happening. You are not pretending to be a robot. You are not forcing positivity. You are just saying, I feel this. And it does not mean I stop. Think about Bruno Mars in Brazil. Mid concert, the crowd starts singing the chorus back at a completely different tempo. From the outside, it sounds like booing. He stops. He looks confused. He smiles. He says, Stop, wait, and then he keeps going. He did not pretend. It was not weird. He did not leave the stage. He acknowledged the weirdness and stayed in the room. That is the move. Not performing calm, not forcing it, just I feel this and I am still here. The real life moment. Eyes burning, still moving. Let me tell you what happened to me the day I was finishing this book. I was doing a keratin treatment on my hair, which is a Brazilian straightening treatment by myself in my bedroom. My niece had the product. I got it from her. I was applying it alone, brush in hand, straightening iron, going, and then my eyes started burning. Not a little, bad. The kind of burning where your first thought is, did something touch my eyes? Am I okay? Should I stop? The fumes from the product, the heat, all of it. My eyes were on fire, and I got scared. For a second, I almost panicked. I almost put everything down, dropped the brush, stopped the whole thing, and then I heard it, the sentence. Okay, relax. I am emotional, but I am conscious. I am with God. Let us keep going. I kept my eyes closed. I kept the iron moving. I kept the brush going. I was doing this essentially blind, trusting what my hands already knew, trusting that I would be okay, accepting the fear without letting it run the show. After a few seconds, just a few, something shifted. I felt myself come back. The panic receded. I found the track again. The burning was still there, but I was still there too. I finished the treatment, and now my hair looks amazing. That moment, that small, private, nobody is watching moment in a bedroom with a hot iron and burning eyes, that is exactly when the sentence matters. Not on stage, not in front of an audience, not in a dramatic moment you prepared for, in the random Tuesday of your life when something stings and you do not know if you should stop. That is the harbor. That is the coast you hold on to when the water gets rough. Not a philosophy, not a framework, not something you read in a book and think, oh, interesting. Something you say to yourself in the moment, 5 words, and you keep going. Now apply that to your product. To the moment you open the blank page and freeze. To the moment you hit publish and your hands shake. To the moment someone gives you feedback that stings. To the moment you see someone else's results and feel small. Your eyes are going to burn sometimes. That is not a sign to stop. That is just the fumes from the process. Keep the iron moving. How? Simple, simple plan, baby. If here you would be like just a kid who got a cool shaker, now let's see how to shake the pattern of failure. Ooh, remember who I said to, creativity means a good thing, but sometimes mess things up. In mega creative too, but sometimes I got a lot of skies, but without any stars to make sense of it, I mean. Weirdly, my ideas was very cool, felt good to say, feels good to consider it came from me, but I felt that was too abstract and to avoid here, this is good, but it's BS. I started to think about this thought. If I am saying something to someone in a way who I am going to be a teacher for a moment, how I can make what I know practical. Then my RAS was starting to activate in this direction. The cooker started to get the best ingredients that I have naturally in me. Was just a matter of direct the cook, not to fire him, more about that specific essential HM that creates a whole new way of think about focus. And by talking about make it practical, by the way, here's the only 3 things that actually matter, actually to finally start instead just stop. If you walked away from this nano book with only 3 moves, not frameworks, not funnels, just moves, here is what they are. Added by Kristen's voice.
Okay, hi Ilan and hi babe who are listening to this. Let me show you the practical section. The only 3 things that actually can make the difference in my experience. If you walked away from this nanobook with only 3 moves, not frameworks, not funnels, just moves, here is what they are. Number 1, ask the honest question. Before you build anything, sit with this. What result would I actually like? Not the biggest possible, not the one in the ad. The one that would make you feel genuinely free. Write it down, say it out loud, like speaking to just you. Listen. Let it be smaller than you thought you were supposed to want. Let it be considered small in the view of people's. That is okay. That is exactly supposed to happen in the starting point. Number 2, do the 2 things. Have your first product and have one place to sell it. That's it. This is cross the finish line first. Not having a brand, not a team. Not a funnel with 17 steps. Now, a product, a place. You already got it. If you cross that line, you win. Round 1. Everything else is round 2. The attention, naturally, Iran found in round 2. But without the 1, round 2 was inaccessible. It's logic, huh? It's not about the logic, but also probabilities. Number 3, carry this sentence. I am emotional, but I am conscious. That is it. When the feeling drops, when comparison hits, when someone with bigger numbers walks in the room, when your eyes are burning, these are 5 words that keep the pilot in the seat while the turbulence does its thing. In neuro-linguistic program, this phrase can be called also a anchor. You can start with that and naturally will develop yours. It's just to represent a way of, in any situation when emotions hit, I have something to grab. For some it's cowardice I also use because it works geniusly. So test it. Exactly when some emotional situation hits, even the smaller fear, when something get not how you planned. Oh, yeah, the best. And Ilan, keep going, please. I'm going to brush my pony. Yes, again.
The closing story, the pikefish and the glass wall. There is an old experiment with a pikefish. Scientists put a pikefish in a tank with a bunch of smaller fish. The pikefish's natural prey. The pikefish was happy, hunting, thriving, normal pikefish behavior. Then they put a glass wall down the middle of the tank, pikefish on one side, small fish on the other. The pikefish kept charging at the small fish, hit the glass, and again hit the glass. Over and over, each time a hard, invisible stop. Eventually, it stopped trying. Then the scientists removed the glass wall. The small fish swam freely into the pikefish's side of the tank, right past it, around it, and the pikefish did not move, did not hunt, did not even try. The glass was gone, but the pikefish had already learned there is a wall here, and no new information from the outside world was going to change that belief from the inside. Seeing the wall was not there was not enough. Something changed, including the fish situation, started to starve till death. Unfortunately for me, that is the most honest description of what happened with me, and to also describe the daily basis situations of online sellers who have tried and stopped, do so many failures along the way to even to release their product, open their stores, start. It is not that the wall is still there. It's not that the failure, it is guaranteed like money back, that they promise to give it back and they would love to. But while they talk about that, they tend to feel weird while they are doing, because it's like showing risk on them instead on the client. Something that actually looks good on the menu. I'm not talking about auto the action, but the memory. Money back guarantee. It's basically a right of the buyer, but I am going to remind them because it's worthful to, or it's because deep inside it's because they feel insecure about their product. Point it is the pikefish memory still there making a decision? Was just a side point. This, forget it. And the only thing that updates that memory, really updates it, not just intellectually, but in the body, in the instincts, even the hidden ones, is TS, a moment of action that succeeds. Even a small one, even a $20 sale, even one person downloading the thing you made, even finishing the keratin treatment with your eyes burning and coming out the other side. After a lot of time losing its feel overwhelming starts to finally win. The glass is already gone. You just have not swum through the space yet. That is what this nanobook was for. Not to add more knowledge to your tank. To point at the empty space where the wall used to be and say, look, it is clear. Go. Secret final gift. Wait, before you go. Actually, hold on one second. I almost did not add this part. Literally. I was about to finish this whole material and a new idea showed up. Another product, another direction. And I caught myself mid-thought and said, no, finish this first. Then you go. That moment right there, that is the gift. Because I know that pattern. You are doing something, it is almost done, new idea shows up, feels more alive than the thing you are holding. So you go there. And the first thing stays open. On your computer, on a notes app, in your head, unfinished. And this happens again. And one day you look back and you have 15 started things and 0 released ones. I had products ready, actually ready. And I did not put them in the store, not because I did not believe in them. I just kept moving, translating creativity as starting new things instead of finishing the ones already in my hands. And here is what nobody says clearly enough. Sometimes the first sale happens just because you finished. Just because you put the thing somewhere, someone can actually reach it. 4 a.m. I launched a book, someone messaged me, paid. That was it. Before that moment, I thought selling online was mostly a scam. After that moment, I knew it was real. Same knowledge, same me. One finished thing, different life. Finish the things you started. Now, let me go deeper for a second because finishing is not just about discipline. There is something underneath that most people do not name. A lot of creative people have a specific fear living under the surface. Not failure, exactly. Something quieter. The fear that what they made is too abstract, that people will not get it. So they keep adding, keep refining. The product never leaves. Because releasing means finding out if people can receive what is inside their head. The fix is not adding more. It is asking one question. What is the most immediate result this person can have from what I already made? Just one quick result. Because when someone has one quick result from your thing, even tiny, they are already with you. Everything else lands differently after that. And those extra ideas that keep coming while you finish, the new angles, the additions, the things you think are missing, those are not reasons to delay. Those are your bonuses, literally. Finish the product, release it, then add a bonus module, a follow-up audio, an extra chapter, and sometimes those additions become so big, they become their own product. The next one, but only after this one is out. Let your real audience tell you what the bonus should be. Let the market show you what the next product is. You do not need to put everything you know into one thing. You need to put the right thing into this one thing and then keep going because life continues, but you are different. Finish this one, then build the next one on top of what you learned from releasing this one. Now, here is something I find genuinely interesting about how the mind works in this. Your RAS, your reticular activating system, is basically the cooker of your brain. It takes everything you know, everything you have experienced, everything that is sitting in the background of your mind, and it selects what to notice, what to look for, what to surface. But the cooker needs a direction. Without a direction, it just cooks whatever, and whatever is usually anxiety, usually the gap between where you are and where you think you should be. But when you give it a direction, when you ask, how can I make this more easy? How can this person have a result today? What is the one thing right now? The cooker goes to work on that instead. And the ingredients it finds are already inside you, not in a course, not from someone else, already there. The knowledge is in there. The experience is in there. The ideas are already cooking. You are just giving the cooker a direction. And here is the part that I think is the most important and the least talked about. All of this, the RAS cooking, accessing what you know, finding the practical angle, finishing the thing, none of it is available when you do not feel safe. Not safe like comfortable, safe like, okay, I am okay. I am not about to be destroyed by this moment. Because when that safety is not there, when there is a background hum of anxiety running all the time, the cooker does not cook what you want. It cooks threat detection. It cooks worst case scenarios. It cooks reasons why releasing this thing will end badly. And I want to be honest about something. That background anxiety, the daily kind, the one that is not extreme enough to force you to be resourceful, but just loud enough to make you desperate, that kind does not make you sharper. It makes you smaller. It makes you reach for external solutions before internal ones. Ask someone else before asking yourself. Wait for permission before moving. Feeling safe was the thing I had to get out of the way before anything else worked. And for me, I will just say this plainly. God was how I got there. That is my anchor. Which brings me to this. Which brings me to this treasure. One of the most practical things I found is this. When everything is spinning, when the mind is loud and fast, and you cannot find the thread, when you feel like you know what to do, but you cannot access it, I put on an alarm, 33 minutes. I lay down, not in any special position, no mantra, no ritual, just down, eyes closed, and I let it ride. Sometimes it is uncomfortable for the first 10 minutes, but the alarm means I do not have to decide when it ends. The alarm holds that, and something in me relaxes because of that small thing. The cooker gets quiet, and usually somewhere in there, something settles. I have done 2 hours on the floor during moments when the world felt like it was collapsing, and I came out different. Not fixed, just different, just a little more okay. And from a little more okay, everything is more accessible. And one more thing, if you are listening to this, take it somewhere. Literally. Download this audio, put it on your phone for offline, and go somewhere outside your house. Walk, run, sit at the beach, sit in a park, wherever feels like yours, and listen there. Because sometimes the thing that is stopping you is not the knowledge, it is the room you are sitting in. The same four walls that watched you not finish the last three things. Your mind associates that space with a certain version of you. Go somewhere else. Let the rice cook in a different kitchen. And while you are moving, do not try to take notes. Do not try to remember everything. Just move and let it land wherever it lands. The things that are for you will stick. Your ingredients are different from mine. The cooker is yours. I am just pointing at the direction. Finish the thing. Not perfectly, not completely, not with the full launch strategy and the email sequence and the ad campaign. Just finish it. Put it somewhere. Make it available. Even if 11 people ever see it, finish it. Because the person who finishes is already living in a different reality than the person who started, not because the world changed, because something inside them knows I can actually do this. I am someone who finishes. And from that place, that small, real, nobody can take it from you place, everything else becomes more possible. And by the way, here is something that actually frees a lot of people when they hear it. All those extra ideas that keep coming while you are finishing, the additions, the new angles, the things you think are missing, those are not reasons to delay. Those are your bonuses. Literally, you finish the product, you release it, and then if you feel like it, if it makes sense, if people are asking you, add a bonus module, a follow-up audio, a second document, an extra chapter. And sometimes those additions become so big they become their own product, the next one. But only after this one is out. Release this, see who receives it, listen to what they ask, and let that shape what comes next. That is not a lack of vision. That is the smartest product strategy there is. You do not need to put everything you know into one thing. You need to put the right thing into this one thing and then keep going because life continues, but you are different. Finish this one, then build the next one on top of what you learned from releasing this one. That is the whole thing. Hey, you are listening to this and already made your first sale? Cool. Let us talk about that in the next one. Bye. And check what your cooker will show to you. If It's not your first time listening to this, leave the door open when you leave.